Oh, we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Whiskey Wednesday live at 5. And try not to pay so much attention to that because it's going to be delayed.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us and welcoming us into your home on Wednesday evening. This is my friend Denise, and I'm so excited to have her on today. Hi, Denise.
Sorry. Hi.
Say hello.
Nice to see everybody, even though I can't.
Yeah, so this is like our third broadcast, and we are so excited to be here with you today and bring to you a whiskey that's rather obscure and actually very rare, Samaroli, and tell you a little bit about this whiskey because I had never seen it before. And of course, I'm going through Ken's massive whiskey collection, and I'm choosing every other week whiskeys that everybody's heard of before, most everyone's heard of before, and then some that are more obscure that I haven't even ever heard of before. So today we're going to do the Samaroli, which is very exciting to get into that and talk to you about that. And Ken has two in his collection. He has a 2011 and a 2013. And so we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But first of all, I want to thank the sponsor of ScotWeek, Angel Share Glass. And again, Angel Share Glass makes some beautiful, beautiful presents and gifts for the holidays, including I have this beautiful whiskey stopper here.
Wow.
Thank you, Mike and Pam Reynolds, for this beautiful whiskey stopper. And this is used to actually add some water to your whiskey if you like that. I generally don't like to. I know Diana does. Many other people believe that it does open up the taste and the flavor of the whiskey a little bit. So we have that here so that we can try that along with our whiskeys. And we also wanted to shout out to Visit Scotland, one of our other ScotWeek major sponsors. Visit Scotland, letting us know 22 Scotland's going to be open. So now is the time to plan your trip and your holidays to Scotland. And just last week, the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo tickets just went on sale.
Very cool.
And, you know, normally these do sell out.
Okay. Wow.
So,
what an opportunity now, huh?
Yeah. And I think because the tattoo had to cancel 2 years back to back, they're most definitely going to sell out this year. So it's during the month of August, everyone. So you want to go ahead and start planning your trip. Go to the Visit Scotland website as well. Look around, see the places that you want to go and visit and enjoy. And by all means, shoot us some information, ask us questions. I've been to Scotland many, many times. I have gone to every little nook and cranny and corner, and there's still things I haven't seen, but I can give you some recommendations as well. So please do reach out. And also Scots of the World, our friends over at Scots of the World. Now their website is not quite ready. It was supposed to be ready this week. It's not quite ready, but they are going to be doing some amazing things. Graham and Karen Kerr, they are making these little boxes.
Oh.
And they're like grab bags, but in a box form.
Like a subscription kind of
yeah,
thing?
it's a subscription.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love those. Surprise.
I know.
Like Christmas every month.
Yes. and I guess you're going to be able to order it monthly, also quarterly if you want to. There's going to be different levels of the boxes and the different types of things that will be contained inside. So
nice.
I know it's going to be fun, right? For the person that has absolutely everything, you know,
they won't have this unless you get it for them, right?
Yes. And so we're going to get ours monthly sent here, and we're going to open up the box and go through all the little fun things that are made in Scotland each month with all of you, so you can see what's in them. So it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
So Denise,
yes,
thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now Denise is an author.
I am.
I wanted to bring that up real quick too.
Thank you.
And if you want to tell us where we can find your books.
You can find them on Amazon. My name's Denise Bleve, and I write historical fiction and some time travel, a little bit like Outlander, but not quite. And ghost stories, that sort of thing, paranormal. So you can find them on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and the other retail outlets. So
it's a little scary, but really fun. And so everyone go onto Amazon and get Denise's books. And I'm so excited you're here today.
thank you.
And of course, as soon as we're done here, we're going to the Golden Knights game, hockey.
I know. Go Knights.
That'll be fun. So let's talk a little bit about the Samaroli whiskey, because a lot of people were asking me, oh my gosh, is that even a Scotch? And the answer would be yes, because single malts can be made anywhere in the world. There's many wonderful, beautiful ones that come out of especially Japan. However, you are not technically allowed to call it a Scotch unless it's made in Scotland. So this is actually made in Scotland.
Yes.
And so, but it's very rare. So this was originally made by Samaroli, who's an Italian. And the first year they bottled this pure malt Scotch whiskey was 1968. So it really hasn't been around for hundreds of years, like many of the Scotch whiskeys. It contains 2.5% of a whole lot of different Scotches. So let's read a little bit about it. Would you like to tell us a little bit?
It says, and I quote, malt from the legendary Italian independent bottler Silvano Samaroli, although this was actually bottled by his wife under the Massam brand, and you won't find the Samaroli name anywhere on the bottle. It's a little complicated. And should we go on?
Yes, although it's at the top of these newer ones, but originally that was the case.
Yeah. So looks like Samaroli whiskeys are basically the independent bottling equivalent of old Macallans. Well, that's interesting. And then also, like Cindy was saying, they started the company in Rome in the late 1960s, initially as an importer and then morphing into an independent bottler towards the early 1980s, becoming the first independent bottler of Scotch whiskey outside of Britain. So that's a fun fact.
It's fascinating. And, you know, they're calling it a sexy brand that's very expensive to start with and subsequently very overpriced on the secondary market. So yeah, looking at these two bottles of whiskey, we will not open them. No. However, so it's interesting that Massam Silvano's collection bottling is simply titled No Age, as there's no age statement. So it's just by the year. And that might also be because they are also known for being winemakers. I don't know. So, and because it's their whiskey is most associated with the Macallan, we're actually going to be drinking the Macallan. That might sound sacrilegious. So a huge shout out to Macallan, one of my all-time favorite whiskeys. And we are going to have the Macallan number 18 here and try this out. So please let us know in the comments below what whiskeys you would like to try. And if you have ever tried Samaroli or heard of it before, or have maybe a bottle around your home, which you may, who knows, we have two. We've got an almost 400 bottle collection, so that's not right. However, so have you ever done a whiskey tasting before, Denise?
I have not.
Oh,
this is
goodness.
my first.
How fun. Okay, so I've done many of these. I played bagpipes for a lot of them. We started doing these with ScotWeek because we noticed everyone loves everything about whiskey and everything about Scotch, and there's a huge following for it. So we wanted to be able to bring whiskey to the forefront and talk a little bit about our sponsors for ScotWeek, as well as what we're planning in the future for ScotWeek. Okay. So, but with that, you're supposed to first take your Glencairn glass, if I can talk straight.
Don't need to hold it a certain
No
way.
whiskey yet. Once I have whiskey, I can talk better. No, and so this shape has a lot to do with how the whiskey is going to taste, how it's going to breathe.
Okay.
So we've had it poured for a few minutes now. Should be breathing pretty well. We put our nose inside just a little, and we smell it first. And then we're going to taste it, and we're going to allow it to roll back onto our tongue just a little bit and breathe it in.
Okay.
Let's do that. It's fantastic. What do you think? What do you think, Denise?
I like it.
What kind of, do you detect any sorts of flavors in that? Anything come to mind, like maybe a fruit or a citrus, or maybe
maybe a little smoky.
Let's have a look at it. Caramel. There is a little peat in this. Interesting. And there is peat in the Samaroli as well. It's considered heavily peated.
Okay.
So, and for all of those of you who are tuning in who haven't watched anything about whiskey before or know about whiskey, so some of the single malt scotches are peated, and they take the peat right off the side of the mountain, off the rocks in Scotland, and they char it, and then they will soak the whiskey for a certain amount of time, depending on the type of whiskey, in the peat. Sometimes they'll just strain it straight through. Other times they will let it soak for an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 or more.
Oh, wow.
And so you have like your Lagavulins and your Lafroigs that are very heavily peated, that have probably soaked the longest. And that's going to be on our list. It's in our list of our calendar of Whiskey Wednesday Live at 5, I think coming up in January or February of next year. If you have a certain whiskey that you would like to have us feature on here, or taste, or if you'd like to be on as well.
Like me.
Yes. They roped Denise in.
I know.
Okay. So, and then what you're supposed to do is take your little whiskey water stopper like this and get some water
really
in the
pretty.
stopper. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
So these make beautiful gifts, you guys. And they also, Angel Share Glass makes angels with the whiskey inside. Oops.
Ooh,
And
it even sounds cool.
I know. And you can get these again. They make beautiful Christmas presents. Okay, here we go. Now this is supposed to open up the flavor. So since this is your first time, I'm really interested to hear from you as to what this does for your palate and for the whiskey. So let's go ahead and try this.
Made it a little lighter, I guess. Oh.
Did it? Does
Maybe.
It taste any different? I'm getting a little more caramel.
Yeah, I think it's little less smoky, maybe, because that's what I noticed to begin with.
A little more caramel in there.
Yeah, maybe sweeter.
Okay, so a little bit more about the Samaroli collection of the No Age Blended Malt. Okay, so that one's actually a 52.9% blend, cask strength blended malt. The youngest whiskey in that line of Samaroli whiskeys is from 2004, and the oldest is 1957. It's actually before they started bottling these single malts. And it is said that the complex on that particular bottle is very old school, very complex, just like with their single malt, minimal cask influence. And the flavors or the smell would be, I think the smell, I don't know if you'd want to actually taste old leather and dusty old
menthol,
library.
Old leather and dusty old libraries, although I do like that.
Pepper, spice, and rich malt with crisp red apple behind, a little musty, earthy dunnage, funky.
I like funk, earthy dunnage funk.
Yeah.
Along with the dusty old library and the old leather.
And it said, if you read about the reviews online, it is said that they all seem to have a very medium weight spirit level, but also very mature feel, touch, heat, and all of that. And you just need to go ahead and Google Samaroli, because they don't have an actual website for this whiskeys. And so the best thing to do is Google and find the reviews. So we found a review online with which we're reading from, and giving you some of the backstory and the history of this. And then they ask for your own thoughts too. So that might be fun if you're interested in this whiskey, interested in learning more about it, to actually go online and they're asking for some feedback. But you can read some reviews, high reviews, but they tend to, from the 5 that I've read so far, talk about that this whiskey is perhaps a little overpriced. And as I said, especially in the secondary market. And I think that just might be because it's very rare. I was trying to find where they would talk about maybe how many bottles that they made in all, but it hasn't really given us any like amount of bottling and cask. So it's super rare, very fun. It almost looks like, in first glance, a very nice bottle of wine.
Yeah, it does. That's what I thought it was when I saw it. I'm like, oh, we're sampling wine.
Yeah. So just a little bit about ScotWeek, you guys. So if you haven't already heard, we are looking forward to 2022. Fingers crossed, the world will be getting back to normal. And we are holding our events in Los Angeles and in Beverly Hills starting on April 16th, 2022. We're going to kick everything off with a wonderful reception where you can just come and sort of mingle and enjoy in an outdoors setting area where there'll be lots of different types of vignettes, things to taste, things to experience.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Things to do, lots of entertainment.
Wow.
This will be a multicultural event as well. Proves to be great fun. And then Saturday, April 20th, I believe, will be and then throughout the week, there'll be some interspersed receptions and things where you can go and just experience a little bit of Scotland here and there around the city. So watch our website, look for the updates. As we get into January, we should have a more firm schedule. We're just waiting for final approval on our actual venue in Beverly Hills. So we're very excited about this.
Nice.
And I'm hoping you're going to be able to come.
Well, that would be fun. Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah, lots of bagpipes and lots of fun things to do. And you'll be able to actually try curling, which is
curling's very cool.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in that.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be fun to watch and try.
Yeah, so they're going to bring, it won't be the ice, but their LA curling or Hollywood curling is going to bring a little vignette where you can actually try curling.
Nice.
And just experience that. And then they have their own ice rink now. So that should be great fun. And let's think what else. So we just want to also give a shout out to our sister partner, which is New York City Tartan Week, or NYC Tartan Week, and Kyle Dawson and his team. They are having their events the week before ScotWeek. And so we'll all be in New York for those and then travel back to LA for the ScotWeek events. And just to remind you again about Angel Share Glass, our official sponsor, also William Grant and Sons, who make the Macallan and the Glenfiddich whiskeys. And anything else you'd like to add? How was this experience for you,
This has been
Denise?
nice. Thank you. I got to taste whiskey. I got to be on a Zoom meeting. I've never done that. A lot of firsts here. Thank you for inviting me.
And now on YouTube. So we're experimenting with this YouTube and trying to get the YouTube channel going a little bit better for us. So please do not forget to like and subscribe, share with your friends. Let us know if you have a favorite whiskey you'd like for us to feature and try on this channel. And also let us know, give us some feedback. Let us know what you think about this whiskey or any other whiskeys. Okay. And with that, it was lovely seeing you here here this evening. If I can talk straight again, it's been one of those days. And we had great fun. And goodbye for now. And go and get Denise's book.
Yay. Thank you.